Hello everybody, it's me Ross and welcome to another video. Today I'm joined by Dazza, Bono, aka Matt, aka Root from U2, and Liam as we discuss the new appointment, a new Ipswich Town manager in the Portman Road hot seat, and his name is Kieran McKenna. Of course, coming from Manchester United, Paul Cook's successor, and I want to get the thoughts from Dazza, Bono, and Liam. Dazza, I'm going to go over to you first. Your immediate reaction, your thoughts on this appointment, my friend.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, it came totally out of left field, didn't it? I mean, all of the names that have been bounded around since Paul Cook left have all been probably the names and the types of managers that a lot of us are used to and expected. And I certainly, with where we are in the season, I thought the club would appoint someone with a promotion on their CV and someone who can come in and try and save the season, rather than appoint a young manager with a view to the future. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure none of us knew anything about Kieran McKenna before yesterday. But everything I've read about him, I've watched his interview on YouTube that he did for some Ask the Coach thing. It's potentially fantastic. It's a very different direction. We haven't done this for so long, have we, as a club? You know, we of course, you know, that our glorious history of Sir Alf and Bobby, and then, you know, George, where everything that's been good that we've done has been mostly with sort of young managers. And then we fell into this slump when the money came along of trying to go for names and people that, you know, you were used to seeing on Football Manager. And that hasn't worked. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited. I'm optimistic. I do feel sorry for any of those fans out there that are saying he's not coached before, you know, he's untested. This is a really, I'm not very impressed with this. I feel really sad for them, because as football fans, you know, we need to be optimistic, and football is a passion. It's a joy. And so, you know, this is an opportunity. We're at another crossroads. Great opportunity for us. We've appointed someone who's clearly very smart. He obviously has a lot about him as well, because he's coached at good levels, but he clearly has stepped up. He wants his own team. He wants to go and manage. You know, we haven't gone there and persuaded him to move away from Manchester and come to the club, do us a favor type thing. He's put his hat in the ring. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's you know, could go a different way, but that's at this minute. Let's just get behind the guy and look forward to how the club's going to change and develop for the rest of the season and for the seasons beyond.
Definitely, that's the big thing. You know, get behind him. A new era, Bono. It is a risk. It is a bold appointment, but a modern approach. What's your thoughts on this, my friend?
Yeah, well, just echoing Daz's thoughts. Really, it's a step in the right direction, isn't it? I mean, when the Game Changer guys came in and bought the club that we were told wouldn't be sold, and then of course it was about 3 days later, it's very forward thinking, and I think it kind of fits into their whole mindset. It's a very modern approach. It certainly did come out of left field for me. You know, it's hard to kind of ignore the rumors and stuff that you see on social media. Even speaking to people that kind of do have a little bit of an inside knowledge, I think it surprised a lot of people. I'm not going to kind of sit here and say, yeah, I'm a massive fan of him and I've been following him for years, because to be honest, I'd never heard of the guy. But having a bit of a deep delve kind of yesterday when the rumors started to kind of gain a bit of momentum, and last night when the announcement was was made whilst I was buying milk for my children's breakfast at Tesco's. It was just, you know, the guy has got some serious pedigree. He's worked with some of the biggest and best names and clubs in world football, and I don't think we could ignore that. And like Darren said, the fact that he's thrown his hat in the ring, he's applied for it, and he has seen it as a massive opportunity. I mean, I've always thought that we are a sleeping giant. That's not us kind of being arrogant, but you know, just watching the utter embarrassment in Cumbria 2 nights ago, which I'm still slightly jet lagged from. I watched the FA Cup kind of like the build-up show on ITV4. I watched it back because I must be a bit of a narcissist at heart, and just seeing like Terry Butcher there and him talking about the achievements and where the places we've gone and the places that we've been as a club. The fact that you know, I make no secret of it. We should aspire to get back there one day, because you know what, I don't like being in League One. You know, as nice as it is to get to places like Wigan and Charlton and places like that, you know, I want to be back up there. I want to be back playing with the big names, and we've got a guy now who has coached some of the biggest names in football. His assistant as well. Is it Martin Pert? I think when I first saw the spelling of his name, I thought, oh, he's got to be from the Netherlands. He's got to be a Dutchman. But no, he's actually from Norfolk, and he's another guy that kind of came through like academy football at the team at the other end of the A140 or wherever it is, and but he's an interesting character as well. He took some time out, went all over Europe. Basically did internships at some of the biggest clubs. He went to Argentina. He stayed with Bielsa, learned some of his philosophies. So I don't know whether we're going to see him sitting on like a water bucket or something like that, the side of Portman Road. And he also spent time with, what's his face? I always forget.
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal. He spent a bit of time over there with him. And he also spent some time with the Atletico Madrid assistant manager, who is a professor, and he kind of stayed with him and learned some of his mantra. So I think, you know what, if I was a player, obviously I only ever made it to like the 4th division of the Suffolk Saturday League. Still quite decent though. But if I was a player, having people like that come, it's like when you have people come to work and stuff like that. These are we really in the day and age where people look at somebody's age and say, oh, look at him, he's only like 12, I'm not going to respect him because he's never won anything or anything like that. You know, the caliber of the guy, the fiber of this chap's kind of being, I think he's going to come in, and I think the player's going to absolutely love him. And when you see some of the stuff that Jim Magilton said about him, the fact that he spent kind of every kind of waking moment preparing stuff, but also on the other hand, training sessions were quite spontaneous and quite fun. And we want to make coming to work and coming to training these players, we want to make it like a joy, because that will then kind of translate onto them kind of lifting the burden that we as fans kind of lay at their feet at the beginning of every season, because hey, we're Ipswich, we're massive, and we need to get promoted. And there you go. So that's my thoughts for now. But a fantastic appointment, and welcome to the club, Kieran McKenna. And we'll have to think of some songs, because Kieran McKenna, it's like 5 or 6 syllables, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure where we're going to go with that one. Maybe Liam's got some thoughts on that. Liam.
Yeah, I'll bring Liam in now, and he's got a bit of insight because his connection to Man United. He'll explain in a second. But Liam, your thoughts on this? And mixed reviews from Town fans, mixed reviews from Man United fans as well. Give us some insight and your thoughts on it, my friend.
Well, most people who know me know that I'm not Suffolk born and bred, and that my first love when it came to football was United through my dad. My sister's also a big United fan, so I have no shame in saying that I grew up supporting United and still do. So for the course, I've grown up, matured, and moved around different places, and now I'm in Suffolk. Even though it's been really not great, I'm quite enjoying the Ipswich fan supporting saga. So it's never there's never a dull moment, has to be said. But I still have my United tendencies, and I knew of Kieran McKenna. Didn't know much about Pert, I have to say. Didn't even realise that he was part of the coaching staff behind the scenes with Ollie. But I did know about McKenna. Very, very highly rated. coach coming through the system. Mourinho was the man who promoted him at the club when he was in the academy and promoted him into the first team. And he stayed there and was part of what looked like quite a revolutionary, young, fresh-ideaed kind of first-team coaching setup, alongside Ollie, Michael Carrick, and a few others. And obviously, it hasn't worked out this season. And there have been some pretty horrendous results for United after losing to Liverpool. But I won't go into that. I was quite angry after that game. But look, there are United fans. I know a lot of United fans who are quite happy that he's going. Some people think that he should have gone when Ollie went. Same with Carrick. But I mean, it's a difficult one to absolutely know what was going on behind the scenes. But from what I've heard, McKenna did quite a lot of the training, and Ollie let McKenna and Carrick take a lot of the sessions. And look, it didn't work out this season, and United have been pretty average in most games they've played this season. But over the last few years, I've argued when people have been saying that, oh, Ollie isn't good enough, this, that, and the other, that the last couple of seasons he's actually made United a better side than what they were when Mourinho left. Kind of brought the club back together again, trying to get it back into the mould of the era when Fergie was in charge. Of course, Ollie is was a player under Fergie, so it wouldn't have been a surprise to kind of try and see United go to that more direct, very quick passing football game. And McKenna was a big part of that. And United finished second last year, and were unbeaten away from home last year. And I know it was all behind closed doors, but United didn't suffer a single defeat in the Premier League on the road. Unfortunately, the troubles were at Old Trafford. But McKenna is really, really highly regarded. And Rangnick's come in, and he wanted to keep McKenna. He wanted to keep McKenna as part of the coaching setup. And the fact that he has said, this is an opportunity for me to go out and do it by myself is I think it's what the game needs. It needs these young, innovative new coaches to go out and spread their own wings. It's great that they've gone out. They've had great experience under some of the best managers and players to work with, but they want to go out now and do their own. And yes, it is going to be a risk. There is no reference point of Kieran McKenna's managerial career because he hasn't got one. So, but this is an opportunity for him to start his career and also write himself into Ipswich's folklore. And I see it like the other guys as an exciting appointment. I've said this a few times about other things, like people who know me know that I know quite a bit about Scottish football, and a thing with Scottish football that I find very similar to the lower leagues of English football is when a manager gets sacked, it's the same names going around in a similar merry-go-round that always seem to be linked with jobs and always seem to suddenly turn up and get the jobs, and they get sacked, and we move on, and we get the next one who got sacked, and the next one, and it's the same vicious circle over again. And here, Ipswich are trying something different, something completely new, and I think that's far more exciting than if we ended up with an established name that more likely probably would end up getting fired in a year or two because it's just the same process. So I'm looking forward to it, and I wish him all the luck. And hopefully, this is what will get Ipswich out of their funk.
Definitely. And Daz, over to you next. And the question to all of you now, finally, is what are you expecting from Kieran McKenna? We're 12th in League One. I've said already the season's dead. So there we go. That's my opinion. But Daz, over to you. What are you expecting? He's got, busy Christmas periods. Of course, he's got a January transfer window to sign players if he wants to. What are you expecting? Of course, fans will probably go, let's get into it. Let's get into the playoffs. But what's your feeling?
Yeah, I mean, there's no, I've looked through his CV and he's managed all the under-18 sides and things like that at Tottenham and United and places. But I think typically in those environments, you need to play the same way as the first team. So he maybe hasn't been able to put his own style on. So I don't know. It was quite clear with Cookie when he came on. It was 4-2-3-1, and that was it. He wasn't going to do anything else. I don't know. I know there's people on social media saying that he prefers 3-5-2. So whether that's his thing or not, I got no idea. I hope that we see attacking football with, as all fans do, clearly, but I hope we see attacking football rather than possession-based football, which has been just so sad to watch us over the last 5 or 6 years with just the only focus on making sure we get 80% possession in our own box. I want to just see attacking people. I want to see men in the box. I want to see us having a go at teams, not just controlling the ball in our own half. So as far as the season goes, obviously mathematically it's not over, but there needs to be a decent run start pretty rapidly. There could be a lot of games called off over this next month, which might actually work in his favour because he'll get extra time on the training ground to sort of put his ideas across and for the players to sort of work on that behind closed doors. So I think Sunderland game, he's McGreal's in charge, right? Sunderland. And then after that, he takes charge. So yeah, he's got to get on with it pretty quick. I hope the players get on board with him quickly. I'd say I just hope. I don't know what to expect from him. I really don't. I don't know what to expect. I just hope it's attacking football where we're having a go, which has always been the Ipswich way. We've never been a team that defends well or controls possession. We've always been a team that attacks and has a go. So I hope he follows that. But he knows more about football than me. He's been coaching, even though he's still a young chap. He's been coaching for 11, 12 years now at the highest level in terms of, the first team and running academies at Premier League clubs. So he knows what he's doing, and we've just got to put all of our trust and our faith and our love into his hands. And our previous Northern Irish young manager did a pretty decent job and was never really given as long as he should have done in Jim Magilton. So let's look forward. Let's look forward to some good attacking football and our players fulfilling the promise that we've all seen in them. Well, we've all hoped we've seen in them. We get a bit more consistency, because I hate that. I'm fed up now with hearing. Even McGreal is now jumped onto that, isn't he? We're just inconsistent. I'm like, come on, move on. So anyway, I can't wait for his first game. Will be Wickham, will it? Is all Gillingham?
Gillingham Boxing Day.
Gillingham, if that goes ahead, yeah. So
of course.
So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to his new era and us doing something new and different, and hopefully attacking. Let's get some people in the box.
Definitely. And Bono, what are you expecting? Do you think fans will give him time? He will be under pressure, pretty sharpish. I don't know what Mark Ashton Co.'s goal is for him, their targets, but what's your feelings on this and for the rest of the season?
So Kieran McKenna's first press conference, I believe, when he is introduced to the world, is going to be on Monday, and I think that is an absolutely ideal time for him and the King, Mark Ashton, to kind of lay out the expectations. Because if he sits there in front of the world's, I say the world's press, it'll be Stu and Andy and somebody from Radio Suffolk and Sky probably. But if he sits there and says there's enough in this team to get promoted, then obviously that puts a lot of pressure on him from the get-go, really, doesn't it? But my expectations personally, I mean, I had no problem about the football under Paul Cook. I've often said it, it's the most exciting football I've seen at Portman Road for a long, long time. However, like what Darren said, don't shake your head, Darren. Like what Darren said.
Yeah, but that's quite sad that that's the most exciting football you've seen at Portman Road.
Yeah, well, it's not the most exciting, but it is the most exciting I've seen, especially like before his predecessor. And like you said, Darren, our problem was our being consistently inconsistent, which is just annoying because you don't know, you never knew what players would turn up. You never know kind of if they'd have a bad game or a good game. So hopefully we can see some consistency. I will get behind him 100%. Obviously I like attacking football. I don't know many football fans that kind of don't like attacking football, but I would like to get as far away from this whole possession-based pass it across the back four back to the goalie who punts it long and high to the guy playing number 10 who's 5'3". I just want to see some. He's clearly got pedigree and he's clearly an intelligent and astute coach. So I would like to see some footballing philosophies that kind of reflect that. I'm kind of coming to terms with this season possibly being over, but there's always hope. I'm the eternal optimist, annoyingly so to a lot of people, I guess, if anybody cares. But yeah, it's just exciting, isn't it? It's kind of hashtag, oh, hello. It's hashtag new era, Mark, is it 4 or are we on to 5 now? I don't know. But it's kind of the dawn of a new day. It's kind of going to get us through this Christmas gloom. And hopefully, if he's not packing up his Abel's removal van in Manchester today, hopefully he might be at the old game tomorrow. Obviously, the 3 Lions are going to be there, plus Ed Schwartz and Matt Steed. You know, they're all going to be there. So I'm almost certain that they're going to be meeting him and talking about philosophies and transfer budgets and all that jazz. It's kind of exciting as well that potentially we're going to have even more players. I can think of a few that I'd like out the door right now, but we're not here to talk about that today. So it's just exciting, isn't it? It's just exciting. And cool. It is tough being a Town fan. We have tremendous highs and then absolute gutter lows, like flipping talk about 48 hours. You know, you're up in Cumbria freezing your backside off. The beer was very nice though. And then like losing, and then like a couple of days later, you're appointing an exciting young manager that could end up being the best manager we've ever had.
There we go. Perfect way to end it there. Liam, let's have you to have the final say on this chat on Kieran McKenna. What are you expecting? What are you wanting? And yeah.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? What are you expecting? I think we've got to expect the unexpected. We just don't know. We don't know what his philosophies really are. It's an absolute blank canvas, and that's what I think is exciting. Is that it is just everything is completely up in the air at the moment, and fresh. And what I want to see more than anything is a bit of adaptability. I want to see a coach, manager, whatever he's going to be titled as, and I think it probably is the head coach rather than the manager. Then I want to see. He might have a philosophy. He might want have a formation he prefers, but the thing that Cook failed with was it was all well and good having that 4-2-3-1, but in many games this season, and it's what ended him getting the sack, he's so rigidly stuck to that formation that when you see it wasn't working, he just isn't willing to change. it's got to work or it fails. There is no other ground. And I'm hoping with a young coach who's taken a lot of advice and learned a lot from a lot of different managers, that he's going to have that sort of modern era kind of freshness to it, that if it isn't working, that he's got ideas to change it, and he's got ways of ending up winning more football matches than we don't. And that's what I want to see. I want to see, obviously, us play attacking football, but ultimately I want to see us win and get out of this division. That's ultimately what I want us to see. And I think this is a really progressive appointment, because I just think that it is something that he's got a chance now to shape how the club looks in 2, 3, 4 years' time. Whereas some of the other names, as I've already said, like Neil Warnock was the main one for me. People who wanted Neil Warnock just because he was a safe pair of hands and he's going to get into the players. Well, yeah, but it's a really short-term way of looking at things. I just think they've gone really fresh. This is a chance to actually build the club now in the mould that the owners want to build the club in. And for me, that's exciting. And I really, really hope that we start to see some really, really exciting green shoots. Am I allowed to say that, or is that outlawed?
You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that. Of course you can.
Green shoots of something exciting coming our way. I'm really hopeful. The season being over, look, it's really on a knife edge at the moment. But I mean, being optimistic, 9 points on paper is 3 games, 3 wins, 3 defeats for some of the teams above us, and we're back in it. I know it's not as simple as that, but it's not over mathematically, but there really has to be some kind of work done to really get us back.
Yeah, I think Bono makes an excellent point as well about this press conference on Monday, because as it stands here today, I'm ready to give him, all of this season and next season. I hope that that's made clear, as Bono said on Monday, that they've outlined some sort of expectation as to what the plan's going to be, and that the fans buy into that, and not just sort of, if we haven't won a game for the next 5 or 6 games, that everyone wants him out, because that can't happen. This guy needs some time to sort out the players that we've got and go in a different direction. So I really hope, because some of our fans are fantastic, and some of our fans need to get in the bin, because they just talk absolute nonsense, and I've got no patience. And so I just hope, that this Monday's conference is going to be really interesting. Let's hear what the message is. But having said that, now that I'm just going to contradict myself now, at the start of the season, Mike O'Leary sat there and said, we're hoping to get promoted this season, but if not, then next season. And then obviously Cook got the boot because we weren't looking like we were going to get promoted this season. So, it's I hope just people give him time. Let's give the guy some time. This is not a short-term appointment, because that would have been Harris, Warnock, someone with the experience, plug and play. Let's go, tell the players to do X, Y, Z, and we'll do that for the rest of the season. So, this is, we're starting again. We are starting again. It's exciting. And I wore this shirt today because this obviously is a shirt that has a lot of glory attached to it but we were under a young manager at the time in George Burley. And this is why this was exciting football, Bono. I don't know if you watched many games under the Burley era, but that was all good.
I did. They were good times. Definitely good times. Definitely.
Okay then. Well, gentlemen, Liam, I feel like you want to talk there. Did you want to end it on a note? No.
I just wanted to say I hope that the club really do put forward what the strategy is. That was all really. Just concurring what Dazza said there.
Another
Because
5-year plan. Another 5-year plan.
I was going to make that point about O'Leary, about the fact that, and the Americans, that promotion we obviously want to get out of the league, but we will be patient in doing it. And then within 4 months, Cook's been sacked. So, but I think this is different because I had said in another video that I begged the question of whether Cook was really the Americans' man. Now, looking back on it, it may be that he wasn't, but they went with it, knowing his track record. But now this is the Americans' man, and maybe this will be the time, I guess, that they want to invest to make sure that this is done properly and not just we're lurching from one disaster to another. So I would hope they give him plenty of time. The supporters need to give time. This isn't a quick fix. This is gonna take a little while. So let's get behind him. And look, if it turns into an unstoppable train, who knows? We may still be toasting towards Championship football next season. But I just want to see progress. That's what I want to see in the next 6 months. Progress that something better is on the horizon.
Yeah,
definitely. And Bono, final word from you. I feel like you're wanting to say something.
The game changer era starts now.
There we go then. Well, Dazza, Bono, Liam, thanks for joining me. Thanks everybody at home watching. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on this. Are you excited for this new era? 5.0, whatever it is. But yeah, should be interesting. Let's get right into it and enjoy the ride once again. Bye-bye for now.